So our next speaker is Professor Emerita Eva Tornberg from Lund University, Department of Food Technology. Professor Tornberg has a long-lasting experience in research, and mainly three areas has been handled by her, namely surface, ecology, and meat products, and physiochemical properties of diet fiber products on processing. In total, Eva Tornberg has published 177 papers and proceedings. Eva Tornberg also has an experience as a leader and a collaboration with the industry, mainly conducted as research director for 12 years at the Swedish Meat Research Institute in Kävlinge. That unfortunately was closed down. That was a mistake.
Yes, really. Yes.
The most stupid that happens in our business for too long. Where you also produce a lot of internal reports that we never will see because they were destroyed when the institute was closed down. That was really good.
It was sent to Denmark.
It was sent to Denmark because they took over. That's the same as throwing them out. Yeah. But you are still, even though you have a emerita position, you are still active doing research, and that's also what we will hear today. It's one of the projects, the latest projects. And you also decided to take on another PhD student for another 4 years. So please, Eva. And by the way, the title is Additives in Meat Products for Good or for Bad. That's very interesting. So please, Eva.
Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me come here. It's very interesting to hear all the different aspects of additives. But Siljon, you have said very much what I would like to say, so I can make it shorter. Yes, but it's...
You can make it longer to clarify.
Yes. So, but firstly, see if I'm doing now, that will be this. Yes. First I would like to talk about Kerstin, Professor Kerstin Lundström, who has been a very good colleague of me. And these are the number of papers that we have in joint publications. And as you can see, the first one I think was on what you worked with first, muscle metabolic characteristics, together with Gita Isen. And that was in 1988. And then we had a seminar, Nordic seminar. We were very active in the Nordic seminars and things like that, and I had a speech there, and Kerstin, she was the editor. And then we started to work together with Gunilla Johansson on meat color in Hampshire, Swedish landrace and Yorkshire pigs in purebred. And that was in 1991 on the Meat Research Congress in Hornbach. And in 1998 we continued that. And then we came to the RN allele, of course. And she was the queen of RN genes, so she knew everything. So if you were working in that area, you had to collaborate with her. She really knew everything about it. So, and we had here in ICOMS in 1998, and it was, I think we had a lot of papers there in Barcelona, which was a very interesting ICOMS as far as I remember. And we had sensory technology, meat quality, and it ended up in a science, in a publication in Meat Science in 2001. But after that, so at 2001, the Meat Research Institute was closed. And I went back to the Lund University and started to work with other things than meat, sort of. But still, I'm very interested in meat, and I have had some students working with meat, especially in meat products, and that I will refer to. So, dear Kerstin, we miss you all. Yeah, really nice. And where is the husband? He has left. Oh my. So here we are. So some typical, now I will go into some typical additives used in meat products. And as you see, you heard from, it is salt, nitrite. Where is it? Salt, nitrite, polyphosphate, antioxidants extracted from fruits and vegetables. I will also talk a little about potato starch, which I think is an excellent additive. And also I will talk about fibers, dietary fibers, which I've been working with also. So that is, I think, a little about antioxidant, but you have talked so much about it. So, and potato starch and fibers. I have made sort of a table here for good or for bad. And the different quality aspects is the healthy aspects, hygiene, the safety concern, taste, texture, color, water holding capacity and fat holding capacity. And the different type of additives is salt, nitrite, polyphosphate, antioxidant fibers and potato starch. I will show some of the results I made on these, the yellow one here, but we can go, oh, what happened now? What happened now? That's good. So, so with the salt, you heard that there were health concerns about salt to give too high blood pressure, but salt is good to reduce the microbial load. I don't know if they are very good for safety. I don't think so, but for taste they are important, and for texture because they are very good water holding. And it can be deleterious for color because salt induces lipid oxidation. So it can be. So that is deleterious. Nitrite, everyone is so concerned about nitrosamines and that they are so cancerogenic. But if we look, and Honeckell has written a very good review on that, and if we look how much nitrite is left when the nitrite absorbs to the heme group, and then form nitrosyl hemoglobin, which is the color that you get. It's very important for the color. But it's but 10, 15 ppm nitrite. It's very, very little left. And I don't think the nitrosamine is the big issue. It could be because nitrite can form in the stomach. NOS is like ROS, reactive oxygen species radicals. That could be perhaps, but I'm not. After hearing the review of Milikowski at the Meat Research Congress, he doesn't believe at all in nitrite being bad. And nitrite is good because it's an antioxidant, so it's good for the taste and it's crucial for the color. Well, what about polyphosphate? Yes, well, I put here across for the hygiene because it's very good for water holding, and if it's good water holding, you have less microbial load. So it's very important. And what we have forgotten here, which I will show, where is my yellow? Where is it? Here it is. It is that polyphosphate can be negative because it can be soapy taste or if you have too much, but it is an antioxidant because it chelates the iron, the heme group, so it can act as an antioxidant. So what about the antioxidants we here look at here? They are very good. That's why they are very good. It's nothing bad at all with antioxidants. I've been working with antioxidants, so I do believe in them. But if you use too high concentration on some of the polyphenols, they can be pro-oxidating. So you have to look at the concentration dependence, really. Fibers, they can be good, and we have heard, of course, from Richard and everyone here has convinced me how important with the cereal fibers. And I will show some results with the cereal fibers that I've used in sausages. The problem with is that they can give off flavors. I'm sorry to say, and texture can be, sometimes they can destroy the texture too, but sometimes they could. So it's so dependent on what type of fibers you have. But here is my favorite, potato starch. I don't know if I've never heard it's any health concerns about potato starch. It's very good water holding, So it's no microbial load. Has no off taste whatsoever. Texture, it increases the texture, and it's very good for water holding and fat holding. But perhaps it's the health benefits, perhaps not, because it's not have fibers. But have you looked at that, Richard? No, I should. So, antioxidant meat products. Besides microbial spoilage, we have oxidation, and we can have color changes, off flavor formation, texture deterioration, and water losses. And I think it's very important that lipid oxidation can be hazardous with regard to health. This lipid peroxide can induce inflammation, DNA damage, and tumor development, and can be linked to colorectal cancer. So adding antioxidants, we agree on that. Yes, can be really a way to solve this problem, we think, with colorectal cancer. We are now having a project, EU project, so I will not have results from that, but Suez Meat Brew, where we are extracting from waste material, from leaves, from different leaves, carrots and sea buckthorn, and see if we can use it and extract, and we can use these antioxidants to meat products, and then we will do mice experiments and to see if it will reduce the colorectal cancer. So that's interesting, but it's rather new, so I don't have any results from it. Here, how do you look at the antioxidant activity? It's by measuring with diabetes assay, scavenging activity. And I've been working very much with olive polyphenols. It's a hydroxytyrosol. Like you see, I saw you haven't used that one. No. And as far as I've seen, this is an olive powder which we have taken. It's 10% of polyphenols and 5% is hydroxytyrosol. It's very, very active. And tyrosol also, and catechin, which you have in green tea, is good. But when you come to lycopene, tocopherol, and beta-carotene, they are not at all as efficient. But that is because they are fat soluble. These are water soluble, and I think to be efficient in meat products, it's important to be water soluble, so they can act at the interface of oil and water. These are some results for cooked chilled meatballs. Swedish meatballs are very popular, and I've been working with the industry in forming these meatballs. And they are very susceptible to lipid oxidation because we don't have added any nitrite. So we have here, we have measured lipid oxidation, and this is the reference. This is directly after production and 1 week storage in cold, 4 degrees. And what you can see here, after 1 week you increase the lipid oxidation. And we have used carotene, tocopherol, and ascorbic acid at 600 ppm and 500 ppm. And olive polyphenols only at 50 ppm and 100 ppm. It's the polyphenols. And here is polyphosphate with 2,600 ppm. And you can see that the polyphosphate are the most efficient. So we must remember, because I remember, I had a project with an industry, and they said, we take away the polyphosphate from hams. And when they made pizza. And after storage for half a year, it was so rancid. So they put it there again. They couldn't avoid it. It's really, really efficient. And all the polyphenols are very, very efficient, very low concentration. And we have also looked at these deep fried fat meatballs, frozen storage up to half and 1 year. And I can tell you, industry stores it for 1 year. And I don't know, I have only measured lipid oxidation here, but there are a lot of peroxides there. That I can imagine is not healthy. And we have here 70% of beef meat, MBB, and 70% of meat, which is 42% beef and 28% pork. And if we compare the reference without any polyphenols, you can see that the beef has higher lipid oxidation. And it is reduced by polyphenols, 100 and 200 ppm. You don't have to have much. And it is also reduced here. And even after a year, it is reduced. And when you try to do these microwave, these 1 year stored meatballs, it smells in the, it's so rancid. But when you had the polyphenols there, you didn't smell it. So I don't recommend these 1 year old meatballs. So that I thought I wouldn't talk anymore about, because I thought you talked so much about antioxidants. So, and it's a very prosperous future now with the peptides and small peptides. So dietary fibers, that they originate from cell walls of root fruits, vegetables, fruits and cereals. I've been working rather much with dietary fibers from root fruits, vegetables and root, but because there are so many cereal people here, I will talk about the cereals, namely pentosan, arbinoxylans and beta-glucans, and in sausages and meatballs. Compositions of the cereal fiber studied, I looked at the leftovers, the oat bran, rye bran and barley fiber. And you can see how high content is of totally dairy fiber, but the oat bran has least. And it's least by arabinoxylan, and beta-glucan is rather 10%, but this is the soluble part. Rye bran has a high total fiber content, a rather high arabinoxylan, but it's not so much beta-glucan. But the barley fiber has really high content of beta-glucan, and it's 22.3 is soluble here. And you have arbinoxylan, and it's very high content. So we thought the barley fiber would be the best one. This was not the case. What did we do? We did meatballs, sausages. And it's important when you look at additives, and so you have to have the same water-protein ratio. So you have to do that, so otherwise the meat will dominate, because it's a good jellifier. And the salt content was constant, and we only added 1% total dairy fiber, because otherwise the off flavor will be too high. And we did so that we had low starch and low fat. So we added on, so we tried to exchange the fat with the dietary fiber. So it's very good if we can lower the fat content and we can add dietary fiber. Here are the frying losses for meatballs and for the sausage. Here we have the reference, which are low fat and low starch. And what we can see here is that rye bran not milled, give higher frying losses, large higher frying losses. And what we can see here is that oat bran gives less than reference, and rye bran in water, whereas these are deleterious. They are not very good at all. So look at the firmness. Here, what we see here, that for the meatballs, that the barley fiber, the texture is very bad. So but the oat bran and the rye bran in water could work. For the sausages, this is a reference, and rye bran in water and oat bran can work, but barley fiber is really bad. So sensory analysis is that oat bran and rye bran in water for the meatball is not that bad. Sausages, oat bran even is better than the reference. So oat bran was the most preferred additive in sausage, while the least preferred in meatballs. Yes, we can see here. And barley fiber was the least suitable as additive in sausages. Rye bran can be added, it seems, to meatballs. So if we looked at heating cereal additives and potato starch, we did some rheological measurements. Here is the oat bran plus potato starch. So we had all the mixtures without meat to see how they gel. So we can see that the oat bran is very good geller, and the barley fiber, if you have it, if you have the barley fiber without anything else, it doesn't gel. So even though it has so much beta glucan, it does not gel because it has not the right beta glucan. But the oat seems to have the right beta glucan. So the conclusions. Due to an yelling ability upon heating, oat bran was most suitable for addition in low-fat sausages. And rye bran is suitable for addition to low-fat meatballs, probably due to its particulate nature. Because you don't have gelling in meatballs to the same extent, so it's not so dependent. So the gelling properties are not so important for meatball as they are in sausage. And the addition of barley fiber to low-fat sausage had led to high losses and very low firmness. This barley beta could not form a gel when heated. A smaller molecular weight and a less favorable structure compared to the oat beta glucan could be reason for that. Now we come to potato starch. And in Sweden we use a lot of potato starch. And I don't know if you do that in America for sausages.
We can use up to 3%. So, I mean, there is potato starch in some products, but it's usually modified in some way.
Yeah, why? Crazy. No, I got you. I will show.
You know I'm crazy.
Yeah. So what we see now. So what we see here is taken from the production, and you can see the color with iodine. That they are colored. And here you have swollen potato starch, and sometimes it's not. So it can vary. Everyone knows about it. The general behavior of starches on heating. So you have at about 50, this is potato starch, you have about 50, 55, it starts to gelatinize, that is that the starch granules start to swell, and then it comes up, here it's about 72 degrees or so, 70, exactly the inner temperature of a sausage. And then the granules decompose and leak amylose, as we have learned today, not amylopectin. Oh, Jan? He is not interested in sausages. I'm sorry. No, yes. So this is general, and we have looked at it in the microscope. 25, 57. Just here you can see it start to swell, and 61 it has swollen here, and at 70 it's rather good swelling. And what we have done is that we have compared now, modified. These are the modified potato starches, which swell at lower temperature. They start to swell at lower temperature. And here you have the native potato starch and the potato amylopectin too. And this is a barley amylopectin. And what we saw, these are the cooking losses from sausage. So it should be around 55. Then you get exactly when the meat loses water. Then it's just taken up. So that is very important with the gelatinizing temperature. So native potato starch is one of the best water holders. So you know that for you tell the guys in America. But what's the trouble? This is the trouble. Because this is fresh sausage with added potato starch. And if you freeze this sausage, it contracts. So when you modify your potato starch, it does not contract. So it can hold water. So if you freeze your sausages, you often do that at home if you don't eat it all and so on. But don't do that. Because we use native potato starch in Swedish industry. I don't know if they do any longer, but when I was there, they did it. So conclusions. Additives like salt, nitrite and polyphosphate in meat products are considered not to be healthy, although evidence for that is not so convincing. However, salt is very important for taste and texture, and nitrite is crucial for safety and color, as you said also. Polyphosphate can act as both an antioxidant and a water binder. Antioxidants are very important in meat products, so they can increase the quality of meat product with regard to health, color, flavor, texture, and water holding. And dietary fibers can exchange fat in meat product, but it's very dependent on the type of fiber added and also on the type of meat product. And native potato starch is an excellent additive to meat product, as it starts to swell about 55 degrees, where the meat starts to lose its water. However, native potato starch is sensitive to freezing. Thank you for your attention. It was in time, wasn't it?
On the second, I don't know how you did it, but it was on the second.
Would the phosphate group on potato starch have any role? Because we talk about phosphates here.
Yeah.
Potato
Yeah,
starch is
yeah, that is a
Please
good
repeat
question.
your question. Please repeat.
Yes.
See, I am interested.
Yeah.
So the question is whether the phosphate groups on potato starch, whether they would have an impact.
I don't know really. But that is, I've been thinking of it, but I haven't investigated. So, but it's a good question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.